everybody. Welcome to the first ever Never Over the Hill podcast with me, your host, Hilary Star de Roy. We have our first guest on today. Her name is Norma Iona. She is a very good friend of mine and a local shop owner in Locust Valley. She owns the shop Blush, and I love her style. She is just hilarious and got the best personality. And I asked her to be on the podcast, and at first she said, no, absolutely not. And then I somehow convinced her. I was just like, it's just going to be like we're sitting and chatting exactly like we are. So I'm going to let Norma tell you a little bit.
Sitting and chatting with Hilary. So thank you for having me. And I'm so honored to be the first guest.
Yes, me too. I'm so happy to be here with you. So I'm going to pass the mic to Norma, and she is going to just give a little background on how she got started in the industry and opening the shop. Just a little backstory.
So I started Blush about 8 years ago. I'm not sure if I'm going into the eighth year, ninth year. I think I'm going into my ninth year. I'm not sure, but because time flies when you're having a good time. But prior to that, I had worked in the design industry, the fashion industry, the entertainment industry, and I loved it all. But I had, at the time, had a baby, and I was ready to have more flexibility in my schedule, to be able to be a mom and just be more present. And the Blush that I currently own had been one of my previous jobs, and it was kind of like something I put out in the universe ages ago, where I was at work and I was like, oh, I would love for this to be mine one day, and the opportunity arose not at the right time for me to take over Blush, which was not Blush at the time. And
I had no idea that
yeah.
Blush, but it was not called Blush.
No,
Okay.
it was Pompanay at first, and then it was Cocolarcy, and now it's Blush. Um, so the opportunity arose, and I didn't feel like the timing was right because I had just again had a baby, and you kind of want the stability of a corporate job, or something a little bit more stable and fixed. But at the same time, I was torn because that's like all I wanted to do. Like, I wanted to give it a try and get back into like a creative outlet and build it up to eventually go back into designing and fashion, which is what I had originally gone to school for.
So
So the timing wasn't
was
right, but I did it anyway, and now it's like 8 years later, and I think it was the best decision I made. It was empowering. I mean, it's obviously hard, owning your own business, and retail is very wonky and unpredictable. But I do like still having the flexibility. I had another baby after that. I am able to really be present when it comes to participating in my kids' activities and their daily lives. And I didn't think I'd like that, but I actually love that. So, yeah, that's, I'm still very proud of having made that move. Of course, you go through like your doubts here and there, but
always, and
overall,
that's like what I feel like small business owners like us, a lot of our conversations end up being like talking each other off the ledge. Like
yeah.
one month it's me, the next month it's Norma, and it's always a roller coaster, but it's so rewarding
Yeah, it's
because
so rewarding, and you do need the constant reminder for somebody who gets it to be like, like, either where what else would you do, where else would you go, and you can't lose sight of why you decided to do this, and the reminder of like, if this is your purpose, like, how did you get here, like, what even got you here, and just remember why you did it to begin with. So
yes. Okay. So that actually leads me into the first real question that I'm going to ask Norma, which is, Did you have a style moment when you were younger that you will never forget, good or bad? And did that time or outfit or style memory, did it affect you going into fashion or going into this industry?
Yeah. So I think that the good style moments, like there's a lot of those. And but they're not as memorable as like the bad style moments. And I I think we've all gone through, like your zipper rips, or you forget to remove a tag from a dress, and you're like at a wedding and somebody's like tucking it in, and you're like, oh my God. Um, and those are like well into adulthood, but like they fade and they go away. But like you do have that one traumatizing bad fashion moment. I think it was like fifth or sixth grade, and it was Parp Week at school. And
Tell people.
Parp Week is basically like a program to encourage kids to read more, and you like keep a log, and you log in your reading times. And I was very into it, and so I ended up ending the week with like a gazillion hours, and they were giving out awards to people that came up on top. And I was so excited. But my parents had gone away. They were on vacation, and we were left with my grandparents. And my late grandfather was in charge of finding this outfit for me to wear the next day to the ceremony. And I feel bad even talking about it because I feel like he was so helpful, but not.
That's even harder than leaving the dad to be in charge. The
right.
grandfather is
Yeah,
next
so
level.
I guess, like went into my bedroom and picked whatever he could find, and like shows up with the outfit. And the next day I'm like having a heart attack putting this on, and I'm like praying, sitting in an auditorium praying that this was all a mistake. I don't get called to up. Like the outfit was wrong. It was like completely off brand. Like this is when it's middle school.
What
Like,
was
you're starting
what
to-
was the
it was,
outfit?
like, leggings with like a striped sweater, and it had a lot of colors and like a lot of stuff going on, and just looked really juvenile for middle school. Like, and I was and the socks were wrong, and I think I like blocked out the shoes altogether. It was awful. I'll never forget it. I ended up having to go on stage with this awful outfit, and it was totally fine. I don't even think anybody noticed it. It was just me. But it created this mindful planning of an outfit thing that I carried out through most of my life. Where I went through like phases where like there was one year in high school that all the years in high school, I literally kept track of outfits so that I wouldn't repeat them. I didn't want to repeat any outfit.
Ever? Like ever. Wow.
Ever. And so, I'd have like the staple of the outfits, and then I'd just make sure that I never wore the same sweater with it, or the same accessories with it, or the same shoes. And so it was like constantly recreating a new outfit. So there was that. And then there was like an entire year where I was like, I am not wearing jeans. Like, jeans are not for me. I am too fancy for jeans, and I cannot do jeans ever.
Did you have a name for this look, or it was?
No, I don't know what I was trying to accomplish, but I was just like, this is the year of no jeans. And then this is the year of prints. And then this is the year of, and I would like mindfully plan. And it got me a senior superlative of best dressed.
That's amazing. Oh my God, you guys, I got senior superlative of most talkative, if you can imagine, as I interrupt Norma.
So not shocked.
But so do you have so you were essentially like your own stylist, your own fashion
And I
stylist.
was, like constantly planning, and I would also like. I mean, I was having fun while I was doing it, but when I think back, I was like constantly torturing myself with something. So, like, even my choice of heels, like running through high school hallways and like 6-inch Steve Madden heels.
I never, no,
do
never,
that
never.
Now, I would never. It honestly pains me to put on a stiletto. Like I think I haven't worn a stiletto in 10 years. I hope I can get back to it at some point. But I live in flats now, and I even do sneakers, which there was a year of like no wearing sneakers ever. So yeah, it all turned to that where I was just like always mindfully planning and playing with whatever outfit just to like never have a repeat traumatic experience like that. And again, like throughout after, like I have been in very embarrassing situations, fashion moments that like failed. I was at my brother's wedding. I was in the wedding, and the dress fit perfectly. And like those chintzy like invisible zippers that they put on organza gowns, where the dress is actually too detailed and too heavy for such zipper. And we went to zip up, the zipper gets caught, we zip down, the entire zipper splits, and I had like 10 minutes to get it all together and walk into a wedding. My mom literally sewed my dress on, and it was traumatic for like 5 minutes. It wasn't as traumatic as my PARP outfit.
Yeah, I feel like childhood moments are more because when you're an adult, you can.
Well, you just don't care, or you like figure out a way to laugh it off, or you just already know that everybody has experienced some sort of mishap at some point, and so you're just like, okay, cool. Or you just get drunk enough at the wedding to not care. Whatever it is, like it didn't bother me after 5 minutes. It's still memorable, but the other one, like I still feel to the core.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. And even though you were traumatized, it sounds like it affected you in a good way. Even though you were running around with heels in high school, it did lead to you being into what you were wearing and ultimately into a career choice for you. It sounds like.
Yes. So I was always into other things too. I was a good writer. I was great at math. But I'd been sketching outfits since I was. I think my very first sketchbook was like at 5 years old, and I started it on a plane, traveling. So I was always into that, and that was really like what I was most passionate about. And we've talked about this before. Like there are so many things that like light up our fire, but not enough to be wanting to do it every day or it defining who you are. And I think that was always the one thing that was very defining of who I am.
So, do you have an actual name for your style now? Or if you do not, can you describe it in 3 words?
Yeah. So if I were home in interior design, I'd be like a transitional style. That doesn't mean the same thing in fashion. But basically what it is, it's just like a classic style with a twist. So with like a modern or contemporary twist. And what that is for me is through trial and error and through the years, and I've figured out what works best for me based on my body, my proportions, where I am in life, whatever phase I'm in now, that always kind of affects it. And then I play with accessories. I pick bold accessories that make me happy, and sometimes they're colorful and understated, and I just pile them on. And sometimes it's in my hair, sometimes it's bracelets, sometimes it's shoes or a bag.
I just want to interrupt you for a second to just make sure that the audience knows that that is like the basis of blush. It is full of accessories like hair accessories, necklaces, bracelets, rings, make your own charm necklaces, bags, scarves, hats. Like you go in there and you're like, it's like a dress up. It's like a store.
It's like a closet. Per se, and that's how I feel in it. Like I feel like like that's my happy place, and I'm in my element because I've always like my style has always been something pretty classic or traditional, and then playing with accessories to be current or on trend. Although like that's not even always the case. Like my necklace is 15 years old or so, but like in a house where you're like very linear and clean and subtle in aesthetic, and then there's very interesting pops of art and accessories and like tabletop and curtains with prints, and like that's, if I were a house, that's who I'd be.
Okay, that I love that, and that is a good visual for people. I think that having like okay, so actually this leads me to my next question, which is, do you have a daily uniform? So it sounds like you may have some pieces that you lean on, and then you put on different accessories. So I'll let you answer that, but
So it's not as obvious as yours. I feel like when I look at you, I could almost predict in a way what you're going to wear. It's totally Hillary. And I love that. I love that about you. So it's not a uniform in that sense, but a lot. It again, it depends on like where I am in life. And right now, a lot of it has to do with me being a mom, right? So it's defined by function and comfort. And but to me, when people say comfort and function, you think like very utilitarian and
or like sweatpants.
casual. And that's, I mean, nobody makes a sweatpant look as good as you do.
Thank you.
Stop. Um, but it's not me. I don't feel good in a sweatpant. I feel frumpy. I feel out of my element. I don't, it doesn't
You feel like you're back at your PARP thing?
I feel like I'm in gym class in high school where like everybody avoided even wearing sweatpants, and you tried to get away with like your regular outfit and just bring sneakers. Like that is what I feel when I wear sweatpants. To me, sweatpants is very like if I'm on the field or literally exercising. Right. So a uniform is more, to me, like right now I love skirts. So I just I'm going crazy with like skirts and like mini skirts and long skirts and flowy skirts.
So maybe it's that you switch your uniform up depending on
Right, depending on what it is. And I try to dress up in the morning with something that's like easier at night to either. I always have something to do with my kids at night, as you know. So where I'm not even, I don't have to like reinvent the entire thing, and I still look presentable, and I could either like change the shoes or change the pants or just like put a sweatshirt on or a cardigan or something and still look put together, but a lot more comfortable than I'd be at work. And with work, what's great is that when you're in art industry, you could wear whatever you want every day.
That's actually one of my favorite things about having our own business, is that we can dress how we feel and nobody is telling you that you're inappropriate or whatever. So let me ask you this. If yes,
Go back on that. Our generation specifically, when we started work, like in the workforce, there was the like dreadful uniform of like what you're supposed to wear to work, and it's so boring and passe. And I mean, it also depends on the industry you're in. I think that the times that I was working in fashion, there was definitely more creativity involved and freedom to be able to dress however you wanted. But like, you think of like people that had to work in finance or other sectors where it's like very like you need to look professional, and so you're thinking like an over the knee skirt and like a specific heel height and blazers that are just like like very department store.
that now I actually feel like I have a bunch of blazers from the 90s that I wear with like jeans in a totally different way. But I will say, I do think that it's evolved, but I think that I do miss a little bit of the formality of, I feel like some of the kids these days, I'm 47, you're 42. I feel like the kids these days, they have gone in the opposite direction. And it's actually really appalling to me sometimes what they choose to wear to like a professional thing. Right. So I'm not saying that we should go back to 80s power suits. I mean, I do like a shoulder pad, but
80s power suits were great.
yes.
I think it's like the 2010 2000 to like 2010, maybe like that entire, maybe a little bit earlier than 2000 because we weren't working then, but I'm sure people were. I think that was, like even the color palette was like awful. And then it was just like this three-piece thing and it was like very predictable and like the blouses and, you couldn't wear too much jewelry and like,
No,
it
I
was
know.
just boring.
I know.
But yes, it's evolved a lot and I think that's great. And we used to look forward to casual Fridays when we were in the industry, and now it almost feels like a lot of industries, even after COVID, are like casual Friday every day. But I noticed the same thing. Like the kids don't care to dress up as much as we did.
It's like there just needs to be a little bit of more of an effort, I feel like, to
I
find your own
agree.
personal style. And I want to ask you, when you have something that's important, like an event that you really care about, do you have a go-to look? Like, what is that look that you would put together or go to your closet and be like, this is the thing because you want to feel comfortable, but in a you put together way? Obviously confidence comes from what we wear. And what would that be for you?
So I do have what to me is a safety outfit, but then to everybody else is, oh my God, this is amazing. Where did you get this? I literally have the little black dress in every single size. And I know like the idea of a black dress is boring.
I don't disagree. I love a little black dress.
But a little black dress in every size, like I said, I have it in every size range. And then sometimes it happens to be a plunging neckline or it happens to have a sleeve or not have a sleeve. And so then I start to like build on it and I make it current. So even if this little black dress is like from high school or 20 years ago or 10 years ago, I make it a little bit more relevant and I play up the accessories depending on the occasion, if it's very fancy or not so fancy. And I love a good earring. I end up wearing my hair a certain way and or maybe like a pop of color with the shoe or the bag. But I think to the core, that having that safety of being like, you know what, this is a dress that always fits, always looks good. It's tried and true. It looks good on your body. If it makes you feel good, it ends up looking good.
Yes, I fully agree. If you are wearing the coolest outfit ever, but you are uncomfortable and you feel people will see that and feel that from you. So you're not going to be your best. So it makes total sense what you're saying. And yeah, so I love the little black dress. I think it is underrated. And so
It's something that like when I am shopping, even if I'm out shopping for something completely different, like I'm looking for a sweater or a cardigan and you see a really good little black dress and it could be long, it could be any length. It doesn't have to be like a short dress. But you try it on and it's like a winner. Like you have to buy it. Yes. You have like that.
that's how I am with jeans.
Yeah.
Like if I see jeans. Okay. So one last question about style is my podcast is called Never Over the Hill, which is obviously a play on my name. But is there one look that you remember that you will never be over in a good way? Like one look where you were like, I wish that I could repeat this night over or day or whatever, like that you just felt so yourself and so good and so powerful in.
Yeah. So I think it's again going back to middle school when I was able to, no, it's not as traumatizing. It's actually a positive one. I think it like made me realize that it was something that I was good at. Like I was really into, and I'm not saying that I'm an expert. Like I don't think that I would be able to transmit that to everybody.
Yeah, I do. I think you do. Yeah, I think you have an eye. I definitely think that you know it looks good. So yeah, but what about for you?
But basically what it was this like denim on denim outfit in, I think it was 6th grade. And I remember exactly, like, I was by my locker and blah, blah, blah. And I had cowboy boots on. And I am so scared of repeating that outfit. But at the same time, I want to so badly.
Yeah, you have to. I want you to wear it like.
But it was like, wow, I'm cool. Nobody else would have, would have thought. First of all, nobody would have put the outfit together the way it was. It had my denim shirt had like patchwork on it, and the jeans were very cool, like paper bag jeans, and these cowboy boots. That were actually my mom's, and like, they were in croc, and like they were like a deep green.
Were they Justin's?
Yes, they were.
I think I had the same ones.
Oh my god! Yeah. And it just it like made me realize that like I could be out of the usual like box of like what everybody else was wearing, and wear something different. And it was maybe not age appropriate at the time. Like, I don't remember anybody ever like.
But that's why it's so cool.
At 10 or 11, and that was like my empowering moment. Like, that was the outfit where I was like, I could do whatever I want.
Oh my God, I love that. That is literally my motto that I live by. I do what I want, but as long as you're not hurting anyone else. And this outfit sounds like it was like amazing.
It's pretty epic. Like, it wasn't like the most beautiful outfit I've ever worn, but it's the outfit that made me realize that I was like, style is power. And
this is like a revelation right now.
I know. I'm so glad I'm here, because I'm like going through all this stuff in my head, and it's like bringing up good stuff. But yeah, it was powerful, and it made me realize that it was something. It makes you realize it's something that you're passionate about, and that you're good at, and that and that you're not. Being you is your superpower. Like, that's something you like tell me often and remind me often. And that's the outfit. That's the outfit that made me realize that like, there's nobody like you, and that's your superpower.
Exactly. Totally. I love that. And I also feel like it was the exact opposite feeling of when your grandfather picked your outfit. So
like the year before.
Yeah. So okay. So right.
It was good.
So anyway, we are going to end this conversation. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and you're just going to state your answer, whatever. Yeah. Okay. So I'm always really interested in people's habits, and I want to know, what is the first thing you do when you wake up?
I stretch.
Love that.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's an old age thing, but I've been really mindful to that. I just wake up really stiff, and stretching just gets like everything going. And that's followed by an espresso that my husband makes me every morning. And
good husband. Love that
habit. It's been 15 years of him showing up with an espresso at 6 a.m. And I love that.
That is the sweetest. Okay. So what is the last thing you do before you go to bed?
I make a conscious effort of taking makeup off and doing my like nighttime routine. And then I try to unwind with something mindless, which is usually, I don't know, something dumb on Netflix.
Okay, so
I feel like it's hard for me to like shut my head off unless I focus on something that has no relevance to my life.
I feel that too. I love that. Okay, and our last question is, what is your sun sign? What is your sign? I already know this, so it's not a surprise to me, but...
Okay, I'm a Virgo. Shocking. I'm a Virgo, and I'm really proud of it. And that's why I love Hilary, because she is very proud of it. We're like those people that are defined by their sign, like, oops, I did that because I'm a Virgo. And my sun sign, no, that is my sun sign. She keeps correcting me. My moon sign is Pisces, which we were talking about before, and she said she could totally see that. And sometimes I feel it, sometimes I don't, but I do like the way you saw it.
Well, Virgo and Pisces are opposite on the chart, so you have a very balanced, very balanced. So anyway, this was the first podcast, and I'm so happy that it was Norma. That was my first guest. Thank you so much for joining us. And I leave you off with go follow Norma on Instagram at
It's at blushboutique.ny on Instagram.
And is there any other way to see you to find you?
Come to 12 Birch Hill Road
in Locust Valley.
And otherwise stalk Hilary's stories, and somewhere in there I'll always be there. I feel like
yes. I've done a lot of photo shoots in Norma's store, and we're going to keep that up because we love to collaborate, and there is enough success for everyone. So.
And I love that I'm here on a Wednesday because I feel like on Wednesdays we're having very much focused on women empowerment.
Yeah.
And
Women Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So yes, and our coffees are from Karmic.
We're wired and inspired.
Lovely neighbor.
And thank you so much to Harlan, who is producing my podcast right now, whether he likes it or not. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much.